Hello and welcome back to TST. If you're new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive news and updates that you can rely on daily. Due to a temporary lockdown on pretty much everything for the emergency situation, we're currently unable to report news from our studio, and instead, we're reporting the channel remotely from home. Well, stay tuned and keep watching.
Ilhan Omar hammered for proposing a government takeover of all private hospitals. For any American who doubts Democrats in power would be a disaster for the United States, there's always Ilhan Omar. The Minnesota representative, much better known for a tangled personal life and ridiculously radical politics than any actual achievements, took to Twitter on Tuesday to float a proposal that would be the death knell of healthcare in the US. And she did it, naturally enough, with no apparent thinking beforehand. Here's maybe a radical idea to deal with some of the pressures our healthcare system is facing. All private hospitals should be made public for the duration of the virus, she wrote. It's a classically Omar proposal, one that tries to play on American fears to achieve a leftist end without offering even a half-baked justification for why it might be a good idea for the finest healthcare facilities in the world to be suddenly placed under the rigid control of an ignorant bureaucracy. For Omar and her fellow travelers like Senator Bernie Sanders, the Vermont socialist and still running contender for the Democratic presidential nomination, the long and documented record of cruel failure among countries that have adopted socialist governments and healthcare systems seems irrelevant. As to the fact that private hospitals are, by definition, private property, that doesn't enter into it at all. Naturally, Omar had more than a few individuals who are either intellectually or morally stunted enough to endorse an idea like that. There's a reason Hillary Clinton got 66 million votes in the 2016 election, but the vast majority of responses on Twitter hauled out the idea for the insanity it is. And this one asks a question that makes the point perfectly. That's the ticket. Make major changes and further confuse things while hospitals and healthcare professionals are already scrambling during this pandemic. What is wrong with you? Omar is doing what leftists have a history of doing, trying to not let a crisis go to waste. They know that sane people living in normal times would never go for their totalitarian ideas that have bred nothing but misery throughout the world. But they also know that a time of turmoil is the time to strike. What's wrong with her is what's wrong with all far-left Democrats like New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the faltering presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders. They peddle the lie that the awesome of the state approaches omnipotence capable of taking care of every individual from cradle to grave. But the end goal is actually power over every individual from cradle to grave. The kind of thinking that the United States has repeatedly fought and usually defeated in World War II, in hotspots throughout the world, and in the Cold War. That's the socialist rule the modern Democratic Party is pursuing. Omar's Twitter post just makes that clear. And it would be a disaster if they do succeed.
Share your thoughts and responses in the comments down below. If you've liked this report, let us know by tapping that like button down below, share the news among friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on TST. I'm David Raveen, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe.